almost 19 years ago, I deployed to Iraq with the Marine Corps, and we were in Barwana in the Haditha Triad, and it was an absolute war zone. There's no rule of law. There's no markets really happening. I mean, we were fighting an insurgent force that was torturing, raping, and killing their own people. And on one particular day, October 19th, 2006, a close friend of mine was killed by a sniper's bullet. He was shot in the throat, and he was killed. And my squad was activated as the quick reaction force. We just learned that our close friend Eddie was killed. He was dead. The last thing he said as he got on the helicopter to his fellow Marines was, "I got this." And so we went out in town to support the squad, Eddie's squad, because obviously this terrible thing had happened to them. And when we got there, I'd never seen these men so distraught. I remember my friend Chris told me he was shooting at the guy. He saw the guy. He was shooting at him, and he couldn't hit him. And one of the senior leaders that we brought out with us, you can imagine he sees each one of these young Marines as his son, as a stepson of some sorts. At least that's how I see it. And he was in a fiery hot rage. And we went over to the house where the shooter had positioned themselves. And there was a family there. We took the father into a separate room, and he started to threaten him. Pulled his pistol out. And this father, you can imagine, knew what happened, right? The insurgent force had come into their home, held them at gunpoint in the kitchen, killed a Marine, and now the Marines are here demanding knowledge. And he told me to leave the room. And I could tell that he was not himself. He was in, again, a fiery hot rage. We all were. And I told him, "No, I'm not leaving you in this moment. I'm not leaving you. He said, "That's an order." I said, "No, I am not leaving you." Because I was worried he might do something he'd regret. And he thanked me for this later, recognizing that we're Americans and this is what we do. We value human life. Sure, that guy may have known what happened and he may have seen something, but our fight is not with him. He may have given support. He may have given aid to the enemy in a moment of weakness. But our fight is not with him. Our fight is with the belief system that human lives are not precious. So when I see people I used to consider friends cheering on the gruesome murder of a man in front of thousands of people for his views, for his speech, for speaking his mind, it worries me. That really worries me. In the past, there have been terror attacks on this country. We've come together as people. Now there's a terror attack and people are painting swastikas in my hometown. They're painting swastikas on the property of veterans like myself because of their beliefs. Veterans who fought the Islamic State. Veterans who fought these terror groups that became the Islamic State as we did. I remember responding to gunshots one evening in Iraq, and we discovered that a 10-year-old boy had been shot in the face twice. Some miraculous act of God, the boy survived a gunshot wound here. By the way, it shot down through his sinus cavity out the back of his neck, and another gunshot wound in his neck. Because his uncle had voiced support for the American cause, for the American Marines. A 10-year-old boy was shot in the face. Blood everywhere. His family horrified, terrified, scared. And we fought to come back to this country. We fought a dark, evil force to come back to this country and never have that experience here. And when I saw the shooting of Charlie Kirk on Wednesday, I messaged my wife. I said, I think I just said, Charlie Kirk got shot in Utah and it's not good. If you come across the video, don't watch it. I found it traumatizing enough as a combat veteran who's seen that sort of blood on the battlefield many, many times. I felt traumatized by it. I feel like we're going through a mass post-traumatic stress event. Maybe more so than September 11th, but very much like September 11th. You know, where that sort of terror is unimaginable. I think a lot of Americans could see themselves last week being killed for their views, for speaking freely in a country that was founded on being able to speak freely. I would say to those people who are cheering on the gruesome murder of a man in front of his wife and children, that you need to take a serious look at yourself and your values. And get back to a fundamentally American way of being, which is we value human life. We don't unilaterally decide who is right and who is wrong and should be killed on the basis of their opinions or how they voice those opinions. It is a dark time in America when people are painting swastikas on the private property of veterans who fought the dark insurgent forces of the Islamic State, of these terror groups who systematically rape and brutalize women, torture and kill their own people, including kids. At a vehicle checkpoint in Iraq in early 2007, somebody got flagged in our biometric system. We searched their vehicle and uncovered a thumb drive with a murder video on it. It remains to this day the most horrifying thing that I've ever seen, where they decapitated two teenage boys. You watch these boys plead for their lives for 20 minutes on this video before they treat them like stock animals. Now, I pray that evil never comes here, because I've seen it. I've looked it in the eye. I've looked in the eyes of people face to face that don't care for human life. There's a darkness there like a shark, all right? I've seen it. I've dealt with it. I've fought it. It's killed my friends. And ultimately, we don't want that here. It's not welcome here. We need to get back to a place where maybe we don't agree, but we respect each other's opinions. We respect each other's life as fundamentally sacred. Or I fear for America. My heart's breaking for America right now. Swastikas in my hometown. And the people out there painting swastikas, believing that they're doing the right thing. It's unbelievable. We need to get out of this darkness. We need to raise each other up as men, as husbands, as fathers. We need to raise each other up. So, that's going to be part of my mission on this channel, is to help raise a higher consciousness, a higher awareness, guys, higher empathy, no matter who you are. So that's all I have to say about this dark week that has passed. As an American, I have a fundamental love for you as a human being. To be able to live free is a privilege in this country. A privilege that many Iraqis, Afghanis, but you name it, that they don't have. Women in Afghanistan can't go to school right now. They get married off when they're 10 years old. Some Taliban dude. We have freedom here in America. It's founded on the principles of free speech, of the sanctity of life, and mutual respect. I think we need to get back to that. All right, guys. Let's steer away from the darkness and towards the light now. All right. I know I've been posting a lot of marketing stuff on this channel lately. I want to get back to some more higher value stuff like that, guys, and share my voice, share your voice. And I do want to start a podcast here to connect with people in the skydiving community, to connect with veterans and share our stories. Maybe my stories of darkness can help shine some light into where that path goes. Because we don't want it to go there. We do not want it to go there. All right, guys, take care. Much love to you, and have a great day.